All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to talk about Tales of Kenzera again. We're discussing this video game because it is the current discussion that's going on between Sweet Baby Inc., Gamergate 2.0, all this nonsense that we've been experiencing so far for over like, what, a month now? Sweet Baby Inc.'s boycott is continuing to affect video games that they are involved with, and Tales of Kenzera, regardless of what people on Twitter are trying to tell you, it is an absolute failure of massive proportions, even for an indie game.
It's like pure concentrated evil.
We have an article here from That Park Place with a headline that reads, Sweet Baby Inc. boycott crushes Tales of Kenzera ZAU as game's total concurrent players peaked at just 287. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. And I'm sorry for my voice sounding like crap. I'm absolute sick, but unfortunately, the content has to be made and the show must go on. So it says the ongoing boycott of video games that have been developed by consultancy group Sweet Baby Inc. appears to have crushed the sales of Surgeon Studios' Tales of Kenzera ZAU. The game released on Steam earlier this week and according to SteamDB, peaked with 287 concurrent players on the day of release. In the 2 days since, the peak concurrent has already declined to 211. Now, I need to say something about this game, okay? And I've said this on Twitter, I've said this on Hypnocast, I've said this in many different places. The public discourse about this game from the side that is favoring this game is more apparent on Twitter than the actual sales of the game. What do I mean by that? There is so many people that are actively on Twitter saying that they bought this game. I have seen thousands, it has to be, thousands of posts praising this game, saying they bought it, saying the gameplay is amazing, saying this, saying that, whatever. Meanwhile, you have 287 all-time peak for this game, which now has fallen to 211. 211 concurrent players playing this game, right? That's concurrent, right? So you got to imagine maybe 4,000 people bought this game, maybe, if they're lucky. For an indie game, that might sound fantastic, but you got to think about how much money was probably spent developing this game. Not only that, they had to consult Sweet Baby Inc., which means Sweet Baby Inc., even though they probably took less money because it was a developer of color, they still have to get paid at some point. So the amount of money that was spent on this game, I would be very curious to see if they made it back at all. Ultimately, what they're trying to do with this is they're trying to tout this game as the greatest thing since sliced diversity bread. But this is not the case. We know that's not the case. It's just a simple platformer that is nothing different other than the fact it has a black male lead. They're the ones that are harping on the fact that it's a black male lead. Meanwhile, everybody else is boycotting the game simply because Sweet Baby Inc.'s involved. They're trying to turn it into a racism thing, and it's anything but that. It says not only has the game achieved a peak concurrent of 287, but SteamDB also notes that the game only sold between 930 copies and 4,700 copies, albeit it takes notes that the game released recently, estimation for sales data takes days to accumulate. Not only does the game appear to have poor sales, but social media analyst Master the TDS alleges that the game is using bots potentially to run damage control for the game. He adds many of the accounts mention Surgeon Studios, which was founded by Abu Bakr Salim, who has significant ties to Sweet Baby Inc. directly. Now, Master the TDS does great work. I don't know if you guys could go support him, but please go support him over on Twitter. He's the one who is following all of the bots and whatnot that these companies are using to try to sway the public narrative about certain games, TV shows, movies, etc., etc. He's doing a fantastic job. But if you were to click his post and look at the actual bots and see what they're saying, it's pretty telling. It's the same exact thing that every other bot always talks about whenever they're used to promote something. It's always, oh my God, I can't wait, so excited, can't wait. Amazing technology, so excited. Gamers are going to be excited. We're so excited. It is literally just bullshit, copy and paste comments left and right. You guys can see it right here. Excited to see what Kenzera brings. Great to hear about the talented developer behind it. Can't wait for the release date. This game's protagonist in Assassin's Creed Origins, so it's safe to say that the Tales of Kenzera ZAU is in good hands with such an experienced developer at the helm. Can't wait to see more. Excited to dive into this new game from Surgeon Studios. Can't wait to see the Abakar Salim has in store for us with ZAU on April 23rd. It is literally just bullshit bots that are being used to promote this game. It's always from female avatars or anime avatars or something along those lines. They tried their best to make them the most interesting avatars they possibly could get so that people could try to see or think that this is all real. But you can see it's all copy and paste. If you guys can read on the screen, every single bit of it is copy and paste. So excited. They're mentioning the developer's name. Can't wait to see, etc., etc. All the same shit. Not too shocking. Then it says, as noted above, the game is part of Sweet Baby Inc. boycott. It was added by Brazilian gamer Cabritas Rambo. Sweet Baby Inc. detected Steam curator list, given the consultancy company announced it worked on the game in its January newsletter. Now, for all the people who are trying to make this seem as if this is a racism thing, not only are you guys very weak, and you guys are so boring, but it never has to do with racism. This boycott is simply to boycott Sweet Baby Inc. and what that company stands for and other companies that are like it, right? There's other lists out there, but Sweet Baby Inc. detected serves one purpose, and that's to add transparency to gamers so that they can make informed decisions and know whether or not the game that they're playing or the game that they're potentially thinking about buying has been worked on by Sweet Baby Inc. or not. People actually want to know this information. If they didn't want to know this information, this list wouldn't have almost 400,000 people on Steam alone. There wouldn't be a need for a DEI-detected website if people weren't interested in knowing more about this kind of information. So the fact that this information is sought after goes to show that gamers want this level of transparency, but the gaming industry is never going to do it. The gaming industry loves to work in the shadows. I say this all the time. They even themselves admit it. You have mainstream gaming journalists coming out there and admitting that the games industry loves to work in the shadows. So if that's the case, of course they're going to be against transparency. Transparency is the enemy of people who like to work in the shadows. The company wrote, our friends at Surgeon Studios dropped the trailer for the upcoming action-adventure platformer Tales of Kenzera ZAU. We had the utmost pleasure working with Abu Bakr Salim and the Surgeon team on the poignant story, which has been heavily inspired and influenced by Bantu mythology. We know you're going to love it as much as we do. In Tales of Kenzera ZAU, join ZAU as he journeys through the world of Kenzera to get his Baba back, joined by an unlikely companion, the God of Death, the company added. Now again, the problem with this is that the discourse that's going around with this game is heavily turning off people, all right? Even if you wanted to ignore the fact that this game is on Sweet Baby Inc. detected, the problem is that when this game is talked about or when this game is advertised or pushed by people, they start off their comments with, hey, there's a lot of racists out there that are against this game, so you should buy it. They don't talk to you about the game. They don't tell you what the game is about. None of them ever post gameplay. None of them ever post the fact that they actually bought it. They say they bought it, but they'll never actually post that they actually bought it. You don't actually see too many people proving that they bought this game. You can tell in the numbers that not many people actually did buy this game. I'm seeing way more comments on Twitter and virtue signaling on Twitter than actual sales. I am not seeing this translate to sales because we never do. That's the ironic thing about all of this, because when we say we're going to support a game, when we say we're going to boycott a game, you see results either way, depending on whether or not we're going to support it or not. Look at what happened with Hogwarts Legacy, the biggest selling game of the fucking year. Why is that? Not just because of the discourse, but because it was a good game. It was actually a good game. And the funny thing is, it was woke as fuck, but the game was being boycotted by the wokies because it had to do with J.K. Rowling, and they think that she's some sort of transphobe or whatever, and they are so stupid that they don't realize that this game actually virtue signaled to them. You can actually make a trans character in the game. There was an actual real trans NPC in the game, but they would never know this because they were too busy being angry. So when we decide that we're going to boycott a game, you will see results. When we say we're going to support a game, you will see results. But we have seen time and time again that they are saying that they're going to support this game. And where's the results? The results are nowhere to be found. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.